the king in prosperity.
I'll be standing still. Across my face to the sea of life, this is the fire that burns with our minds. The path to the hatred, when the heart is for the ugly darkness, I place my brain. No social thing, no chosen path. No self-knowing, my hyperplace. Not so as my alive.
No, that is not the credits rolling. That is the names of all the people that have died for wanting freedom in Iran for the last
Since
47 years.
1979.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be a long list.
Yeah. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm good. Wow. I don't normally like death metal or
Yeah.
black metal.
Yeah.
But
Neither, man.
that was a black metal band saying something important.
Exactly.
That's
I
that's kind
actually
of
have.
that's a little different than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of times these Westerners, they just have, fight the power, rage against the machine, yet they don't even know what the machine is anymore, right?
Well,
It's like
because they're comfortable. They
very comfortable, bro. Very comfortable.
You ever heard of a? I'm sure you've heard of the Dead Kennedy song "Holiday in Cambodia."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a classic.
We,
But that's what that makes fun of is these students that go out and they protest something and then they go back to the comfort of their own lives.
yeah. Let me, so how you been, man? Like, it's been a couple of days.
Yeah, I've been working. I almost got my food budget ready for a convention up north in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
I think Sid should be working on page 34. 33, page 33 of issue 4 is already done. Um, and then I just dawned on me that I've been making books for about 5 years. So, I mean, officially since like 2021.
Right.
It's like, wow, where did the time go?
Yeah, dude. The more you work, the more busy you are, the more time flies. Right. We already.
I can't wait to see what the next 5 years brings. Actually,
Yeah, I'm committed to this for the next 15 years. Just got myself into a new position, so I gotta make sure that works for the people that I'm working for. And so
oh, I'm gonna be
that,
making books till I die. That's my plan.
that is, that is that. But like when you're in a position, you commit yourself to that position for a certain amount of time. So for me, it's 15 years, but I'll just carry on doing whatever I do. But like,
Oh,
you got to look after somebody else's well-being. That means you got to, commit a certain amount of time. It's like when I was doing like I gave myself 5 years for the convention that we were running here, for Plunge Convention. So for 5 years, I committed myself fully to that. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I've done my time now to go back to making comics and putting my effort and 100% into that.
oh, my goal is to continue making books like I said till I die, and I'd like to be able to die having only like half a book done. Kind of like like some authors only like their last works are like half finished or something or partly finished.
Yeah, or not finished at all, or not working on it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's like was it Tolkien actually wanted to do a sequel book to Lord of the Rings, but he stopped because it was too depressing. So there's like I think a chapter or so of this book, and it's supposed to take like years after the basically the last battle against the evil forces over the ring. I read it. Actually, kind of leaves with you wondering what this new evil is.
Yeah.
But we'll never know. I think one of his somebody related to him was going to finish it or something.
Well, I think his son was supposed to finish it off, or grandson, but like they sold the whole, they just wanted the money at the end. But so I mean, I've never been like a huge Tolkien fan, right? Until the movies came out, I watched a bit of it, read the last book, and that's about it.
I haven't been huge in that either, but the whole world building aspect of it is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of videos we're going to look at today. We're just going to concentrate on just two things. Mainly, it was just like Iran and people's behavior to that, and then also and around that. But also, we're going to look at ICE and people's responses to that. And I've got a few things, but let's start off with Epstein, right?
Well,
So
I've heard a little bit about something.
yeah, so I think wasn't even going to talk about that today, and suddenly this thing came up, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's put that out as the first thing, right? So let me just bring this up. So they finally released this from Benny Johnson. They finally released the Epstein files, right, and all Bill Gates stuff. So this is going to be interesting because I haven't watched it.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. BLM terrorists and Don Lemon have been arrested. Bill Clinton is being held in contempt of Congress, and he'll be arrested. And now we're getting the release of the Epstein list. All of it. It's actually happening. I mean, it's not clickbait. It's real. Hundreds of thousands, millions of files of the Epstein list will be released today, Junior. Millions of explosive Epstein files dumped by DOJ in shock releases, and they're already ending careers. They're already ending careers of some of the most evil people on earth. Today, the U.S. Justice Department will release 3 million pages, 180,000 images, 2,000 videos from Jeffrey Epstein.
Dude. Remember last week we were talking about like the Guna, right? The CP Guna who got caught, right? With the list, not actual footage, but list. So this is a lot of files, bro. A lot of files. What do you think?
I would not be surprised if we see a bunch of people, a bunch of powerful or maybe even celebrities, all of a sudden go into hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. 180,000 images, 200,000 videos, right? 3 million pages. And these guys were like, oh, you got to get them out real quick. You know, they're hiding something. You know, Trump just doesn't want to have images of him in there. Oh, no, we got, why can't they just chuck it all out? It's like, how many people do you need to go through 3 million pages of evidence, bro? Let alone 180,000 images and 2,000 videos, man.
Yeah, and what they say, Don Lemon's been already arrested, Bill Clinton's in contempt and probably will be arrested. And who else?
Well, there's got to be a few of them, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of the celebrities were all up in arms about this. So obviously they're going to be like, running for cover, if not, damage control, right? A lot of them's going to be doing damage control. So if they weren't,
depending what it. Oh, sorry, I hit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, stop muting yourself.
Oh, because I mean, all right. Well, I kind of I interrupt when I mute to be quiet so I don't interrupt. Yeah, but depending on what's on that list, some of these people might just kind of go into hiding, and they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you'll find some celebrities nowhere to be found.
Well, these guys, like these celebrities with their built, offshore accounts and all that, their houses, their mansions, were the same ones who are teaching us about Imagine, right? Imagine during COVID in their mansions with their servants, with their countless door delivery, flying and everything you could think of, bro. And they were telling us poors to, hey, you should lock yourselves up, all this crap, you can't go outside. And there they are, and their $1 million freaking, or $2 million sometimes, mansions, gated communities with servants, back and forth, sharing the food where we can't even go buy food because the lines are so long. Yet they've got like stacks of food because, well, they can go and buy whenever, or their servants can go and buy thousands of dollars of food at a time. So they're always, set up.
I am wondering though, if a lot of celebrities disappear, does that mean we get to raid their mansions and steal shit?
Well,
I mean, come on, that doesn't cross your mind like,
well, you know what happened, like in Sri Lanka, right? So let me just play this little bit video because I'm gonna, because that kind of like segue because it goes in line with what you're saying. So Sri Lanka last year or the year before, uh, palace or presidential, I think it was presidential uh, house. How do you spell that? Presidential uh, house raided or something like that by protesters. So there's these protesters, right? So what happened was that uh, China loaned, uh, yeah, it was 3 years ago. So check this out, bro. Check this out. So this is what happens when the rich, sell out the people. So 3 years ago, just after COVID, Sri Lankan government took huge loans from China that they could never pay back, right? And then put their whole country into debt to China. So this is the palace or the presidential Raja Paksha, right? Where they're basically raiding that place and taking everything, right? Check this out.
That's it! That's Sri Lanka! Come on, Sri Lanka! That's it! That's
So that was that, bro. Just 3 years ago.
I would let them, if I were some like poorest person in that country, I'd let everybody just raid whatever they want and just take the place that they raided and live in it.
Well, these people like had like luxury cars, bro. Everything was luxury. They sold their country out to China, and this is what's happening with Canada right now. And this is the worry in New Zealand, and this is the worry in Australia. Is that socialist governments are butting up with China and have been for probably decades now. And this is what happened with Venezuela, right? Venezuela was basically butting it up with with Russia and China and giving them all their oil.
Oh, we see pockets of socialism and whatnot in America, with New York, with the mayor wanting to take away private property, and in California, where the governor tried to make what you post online a something you could get fined for, and hold on, and it didn't happen.
Like, get his mouth the right way.
Okay.
He's got his mouth in an awkward. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Carry on.
It didn't happen because all the tech companies said you passed this law and we're going to sue you, and so he vetoed it. So that's the only reason why it didn't pass.
The thing is, right, when these people get in power, they realize that they can abuse that power, right? They'll promise you, hey, we're going to give you 100,000 homes for the poor, right? And then they will like go, oh, well, let's take about 90% of that and put it somewhere else, give it to our friends, and then give them 10,000 houses, right? Like 10% of that, that's what they need. Let them have cake, right? Let them eat cake, which was one of the old things. Like, people are starving. Well, let them eat cake. Where are they going to get the cake from? They don't eat cake, right? They eat vegetable and meat, So
Yeah.
it's just crazy, bro. Everybody's gonna run for cover because at the end of the day, this is all gonna expose them, and all their lies, bro. You can't hide. The thing about about lies and truth is that you can't hide it forever, right? And I think this is what I say about how people come online and like are always talking all this stuff, but like, I mean, that's why I always say everybody's a gooner, but what are you gooning over, right? And one day, everything will get exposed.
Ah.
And these guys were the gooners, right? They were gooning with them in such a terrible way with kids, underage girls.
Ew, gross.
Yeah, and it's
Gross.
just gross.
By DOJ in shock releases, and they're already ending careers. They're already ending careers of some of the most evil people on earth. Today, the U.S. Justice Department will release 3 million pages, 180,000 images, 2,000 videos from Jeffrey Epstein. So maybe the file was sitting on her desk. I don't know, man. Here's Todd Blanche. He's the Deputy Attorney General, just quickly summarizing this.
Around him. Today, we are producing more than 3 million pages.
It's a lot.
Including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images.
Okay.
In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the act. Just a quick note about the videos and images. The 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images taken by Mr. Epstein or someone around him. They include large quantities of commercial pornography.
So we've heard this before, that a lot of, there's a lot of adult content in here. Some of it is just saved adult content that doesn't have anything to do with Epstein or his island. But some of it is already bringing down the careers of the most powerful and richest people on earth. So here it is. It's actually happening. DOJ released 3 million Epstein files today, but only one woman's face will be shown. That would be Ghislaine Maxwell. Everything else will be blacked out. Now, these are just starting to trickle out right now. I want to focus in on this guy. You probably know this guy.
Remember in COVID, this guy wanted us to eat cockroaches? This guy wanted to take away our rights to medicine and our rights not to say no to it. This is the most evil, like next to this other guy, right? So both of them are evil. This dude's like one of the most evil people on earth, bro. Right? This Bill Gates is just like this power-hungry maggot who basically wants us to be his like little monkeys, right? Do his bidding, and while he sits at the top of the throne. And people say, well, I don't, we should not have kings. This is your king right now, because it's
founded Microsoft.
So rich, right? And he, oh, dude, he controls so much freaking companies.
I was gonna say something. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Continue.
Yeah, dude. Like, if you just go over the things he said during COVID, dude, you'd be so disgusted. He wants us to eat mealworms, bro. Right? He doesn't want
that.
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's just like you get like, yeah.
I want to focus in on this guy. You probably know this guy. Guy founded Microsoft, big time friend of Jeffrey Epstein. So close, in fact, that they had cute little inside jokes together. Like, here's one. I was wrong. Bill Gates signing a $1 bill. This was on Epstein's desk. Why would Bill Gates be giving Jeffrey Epstein $1 saying I was wrong and then signing it? Well, maybe this had to do with an STD test. Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to leave that for a minute here. That's his wife, by the way, who divorced him during COVID, by the way. Right? Because, yeah, she finally realized that she couldn't be next to the stink. And the stink was that he'd been with little girls. Right?
And he was giving her transmitted diseases.
Yeah.
So he was. Let me read that headline again. It says.
Yeah, because once you have sexual diseases, you pass that on.
And then he was he suggested secretly slipping Melinda antibiotics.
Yeah. these are our betters, by the way, guys. For everyone watching, these are our betters. These are the people that like know what's best for us. Especially Bill Gates. He knows what's best for the world, right? The things he was doing in South Africa is crazy with the African people. How he's testing, like from it's been like 3 years, right? So my brain's a bit fried. 4 years actually with COVID, but no, 20. It's almost been like 5 years with COVID, right? So yeah, my brain's a bit fried on exact things, but I remember like paying a lot of attention during COVID to what was going on, because I know from our own history and how people like to test vaccines on against people's wills. So I actually was hardcore against it. I was online on Facebook saying I ain't taking this shit, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and like we can't have you do this. And like I lost friends, like my friends actually lost jobs because they followed me, and I got they said, "Oh, bro, thank you for standing up," because I was getting pushed into getting it, and my work wouldn't let me get the job. I mean, wouldn't let me come into work, or this one of my friends actually lost a top job because he stuck out, and he said, "Bro, I got encouraged because you stuck out as well." So yeah, I never got the jab. I never got the any of those freaking COVID-related vaccine shit. Yeah, now you can take 2. Oh, no, you got to have boosters. Never took any. Right. And I remember getting sick because I was co-hosting a co-hosting a anime convention in 2023, and I got sick because it was there's like thousands of people there, right? For the 3-day event or 2-day event, I think it was 2 days. And so I got sick twice because of that, but still didn't take it, right?
Yeah, I remember I took I got it. I took the shot, and then I took the booster, and then I began to think they said we would never have to do this. You take it, and then that's it. And now they're telling us we have to take a booster every year. I said, no, I'm not doing this. Forget this. And then I also thought, how weird is it that it was this new normal, and then all of a sudden that just disappears like it never existed.
But that's the thing, right? They want to forget that. They want us to forget that they never treated us like second-class citizens, like serfs, like peasants, while all the rich could do whatever the hell they wanted in their luxurious, lifestyles. And here's the thing: all the big, huge stores, like supply chains, were allowed to stay open, while the small mom and pop shops had to close down. Right? You could even go in one at a time. No, you had to shut down. Right?
Okay, so the funny thing is, the only thing that reminds me that it actually happened, there's a Walmart in Caldwell, and they still have that speaker thing that transmits that same message about safe distancing, blah blah blah. I think they put it in the parking lot and just kind of left it and forgot it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that reminds you that it happened, but besides that, you would never think about it.
Let me just move off from this for a second. We'll be back to it. Going to concentrate. We're going to play that all the way through. So this, right? I put this out on because it came across on my Facebook, and this is we're going to look at this lady in a couple episodes later, because I want to concentrate on the whole COVID thing in a more in depth. But here we go. So we have never in the history of infectious diseases quarantined healthy people. There's absolutely no need for lockdown, right? She said this in 2018. And she was there as vice chair for European Union Innovative Medicines Initiatives, Professor Cahill, right? And she was kicked out. And we're going to concentrate on her and how they, students said that she had to leave. This person who's smarter than all the idiot students were told that she's got to leave her position, right? That she can't be a professor and teaching about things that she's actually researched and a professor of. Man, yeah. And here's the thing: there was no apologies for people who were kicked out of their jobs, who lost good jobs over this shit. and people who actually were treated, badly during that time. Oh, you're going to kill grandma. Kids were told if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to kill grandma. Talk about fucking gaslighting and blackmailing little children. I love how leftists always, go after kids, right? It's like, yeah, no, we want to play the kids. No, go use the kids as as what we got in New Zealand called rugby ball, right? Soccer ball, or football. Use them like, things to play, get your pass your little idea across.
Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein says Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease from Russian girls, suggested secretly slipping Melinda antibiotics, new email shows. Oh no, what is this? So here's the email. And this sort of ties in to Jeffrey Epstein and his blackmail operation. Remember when they told us that there was no blackmail operation? No, there's a blackmail operation where Jeffrey Epstein set up Bill Gates, who at this time was the richest man on earth.
Oops. The best way to not have people blackmail you is not to do anything or tell them anything about you. Right? Keep things private. Pinworms comes to mind. Now everybody in the indie comic scene, are talking about the pinworms because some dude just couldn't keep his mouth shut. Right? So that's sorry, let me get away from Ben's mouth again. Benny. Sorry, I don't want to do Ben dirty that way.
Well, a good way to not get blackmail is to not do anything illegal. Crazy, yeah. I know, right?
Yeah.
Just don't do anything illegal. You don't need to and also you don't need to tell them every detail of your life. It's not needed. No one is that interested in you documenting all the triumphs and tribulations you've been through.
Yeah, I told this one dude, who I considered a friend, something in private, and then he jumps on stage and goes, "Oh, that's what you are, right? And that's what you're into." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm not friends with him anymore, by the way.
Oh,
right? I was like, slowly after that, I was like, I started distancing myself. It was like, there's someone I cannot trust,
Right.
It's like, why would I want to be around someone who would like announce something I said in private, one-on-one, off a freaking stage?
Yeah.
Right? When there's about 20, 30 people gathered who don't know me from a bar, so don't know what, who I am. And suddenly you're out there going this, telling everybody this. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it didn't matter as much, but the fact was that he actually said it publicly was more was a big deal to me than anything else. What he said, it was just like the fact he said it in public, right?
Yeah, but most of the people in our space, a lot of them aren't being really who they are. They're putting on this persona instead of being real. They'd rather be pretend and like they're wrestlers or something. Like this fake person that's not really them.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be talking about wrestlers as well, by the way, bro. You're gonna enjoy that. We're gonna do the whole big thing because like WWE is in Saudi Arabia right now. I think it's today or tomorrow night where they're doing the whole Royal Rumble. Bro, it's such a joke, man. It's such a joke. But this came up, so I had to put this first. So imagine being this dense and writing all this stuff down, and and then going home to your multi-million-dollar wife and doing her this way. And so then she learns all about this and takes him for everything, right? She could have basically taken for every single cent. Bill Gates, because obviously he's got like the highest priced lawyers, that's the only reason he survived this, is that she could have taken him for every single thing, bro. So I'm going to play this through, and then I'm going to just go and ask Grok about how much, she, Melania,
who at this time was the richest man on earth, inarguably one of the most powerful men walking the earth. And he set up Bill Gates with young Russian girls. And that's what he was doing. You can see in some of the Epstein documents that's released, he's like, was very interested in Russian girls, like getting all of their sizes, weights, like a, NFL roster, checking in. And he was like ordering them effectively. And for whom? Was it for Bill Gates? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This is from Jeffrey Epstein. I've decided to resign my position at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I've not come to this decision quickly. Great deal of thought during the past couple of weeks. Caught up on several marital disputes between Bill and Melinda. Great respect for my friend of 7 years, so on and so forth. In my role as his right hand, Bill Gates' right hand, I have been asked to and wrongly acquiesced into participating in things that have ranged from morally inappropriate to ethically unsound, and have repeatedly asked to do things to get near potentially over the line or illegal. Goodness. Though it was kindly suggested that I make the transition, 6 years of servitude, Bill wrote that he would give me 2 years of severance pay. I feel like it would be dishonest to myself and my future. From helping Bill to get drugs in order to deal with consequences of sex with Russian girls, to facilitating his illicit trysts with married women, to being asked to provide Adderall to bridge tournaments. I am no medical doctor. I have no prescription writing ability. So this is Jeffrey Epstein saying that he's resigned. He was very close with Bill and Melinda Gates. Is this why Melinda Gates in these interviews, when she has been asked a single time about Bill Gates and Epstein, sounded like not great?
Contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it after.
So he was evil personified, and your husband was like in love with him.
Birds of a feather is the thing, right? Birds of a feather is the thing, right? Misery loves company. We know all this shit. Where that's why you are known by the friends you keep, right? And these are all idioms that we as children grow up with learning. Parents will go, well, who's your friend? All right. Who are you? Who's your best friend? How often do you hang out? And so much. So the fact that she hated him from the moment, even at nightmares, supposedly, you got to take it at face value here, right? But the fact is that he was all in.
Wow, how many left-leaning people do you think are going to totally just ignore or not believe all this information coming out?
All of them. Because it's like leftists are like horses, right? You can lead them to the truth, but they will not drink the water, right? They're like that, bro. You can show them everything in it because they're ideological. They're moved by ideology. They're blinded by what their belief system is. So anything you put in front of them, they will not accept.
Oh, I know. My parents, my family's hardcore Democrats, and they would say things that sound borderline. They hate Trump. They have Trump derangement syndrome and all that, and just like they only believe what the legacy media tells them. And I'll see something like protesters burning things down and attacking people, and they go, "Well, how do you know that's even real?" I'm like, it was footage from somebody who was actually there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I say. It's like, no, Democrats good, Republicans bad, Trump evil, Biden good, Kamala good, and don't question it. So I try to avoid talking politics with them at all cost.
Well, let me show you something. Just talk about that. Where is it? Where's Obama? Gosh, where's Obama? I had a clip with Obama deporting people, and everybody's okay with that. Where is it, Obama? Did I move you over to the next one episode? Hold on. Hold on. Let me just see if I can find it quickly. So I'll play this one, and I'll come back to it.
And according to Jeffrey Epstein, according to his own emails, he was there getting facilitating a ton of Russian chicks. Now, this has been confirmed, by the way. Bill Gates' affair with young Russian chicks has been confirmed in multiple accounts and in multiple reports. And Jeffrey Epstein set up this relationship. Bill Gates could constantly be seen at Jeffrey Epstein's house, hanging out, chilling out. And Bill Gates could be seen with, younger women. They talk about this. He's in the files. And it was actually these Russians that Bill Gates would play bridge with. That was the one that was famous. And that was all set up by Jeffrey Epstein. And then Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed Bill Gates over this. So you're blackmailing the single most, and by the way, this is at a private airport, right? That's the name of a private airport signature. This is Bill Gates flying on a plane with the young women. Okay.
I often wonder. I mean, this is the worst of the worst, right? I often wonder when you have this, what we call what's it when they say you got something money? Like when you've got there's an idiom for when you have something money, you can do whatever the hell you want. And so these people have like bullshit money, right? So they can do whatever they want. Here is at the private airport, moving girls, little girls.
Do you mean money talks, bullshit walks?
No. It's like when people, when you have too much money, right? So it's like when you have too much money, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? So this dude, right, is able to move young girls, right, through private airports right here, right, without any sort of hey, how old is he? Because recently I've got a passport, right? I had to renew my passport. Mine expired in about 2015, 2014. 2014 was the last time I left the country. It was my grandma died, and that was an experience itself. I got to sit in business class, bro. Because they overbooked and so on, or something. Anyway, so I ended up having to stay the night, and then the next morning they took me, flew me business class to Australia, and then economy class back to Fiji. It was weird, but I enjoyed it. So when you have these sort of gold passports, whatever, you can just take whoever you want. There's no custom saying, who's that girl? How old is she? You just go, oh yeah, she's with me. All right, go through. So how many ridiculous things do you think these billionaires are able to get away with because they have so much money and able to do so much? It scares me sometimes because I'm a writer, right? And because I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead or 5 steps ahead. Every time I write a story, I got to go, well, what happens if I do this? Then I got to go, oh, then that's got to happen at the end there, right? That's the result of this action here. And so this is how I think about when I look at any news now. I'm like, So if this happens over there, what happens when it happens over here? How long before it gets over here, right? So right now in America, in Australia, they had a shooting. Father and son, domestic terrorist Muslims, who shot up dozens of people and injured so many at a beach. It's daylight, daytime celebration. So I'm thinking, well, that happened there. Then when's that going to happen in New Zealand? Was that just our cousins, 3 hours plane ride away? So that's how my brain thinks. So whenever I like the news comes to me, go, well, how, what else? What else is happening that we don't know about, right? And these here, they're trafficking kids, man, young girls, especially Russian ones, because he's into Russian girls, right?
This is Bill Gates flying on a plane with the young women. Okay. Well, how much more do you need, right? So he said that Bill Gates got an STD, and he recommended, because from these Russian women, and he recommended slipping Melinda special pills in order to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, the reason would be was that because if she got STDs, she'd be like, I haven't been screwing around. Have you been screwing around? Because that's the only result of me getting STDs, and I know I haven't been screwing around with anyone who gets STDs, right? And yeah, it's just crazy, bro.
It's the cover up for the fact that he was, and then he'd have to explain why he got one or where he got one from.
So she gets the antibiotics, cleans him up, right? And she doesn't get it because then she won't be able to get STDs, right? And dude, this shit makes me sick, bro. And at the moment in Philippines, there's a whole thing about AIDS. There was a tourist who gave AIDS to people in Philippines. It came out last week or so, and I'm like, so the dude went over there, screwed around, and gave the locals AIDS. And so now what they're doing is they're thinking about like making declarations. Do you have certain diseases before you come into the country? And this is the thing about people's backgrounds, right? You don't know what people's backgrounds are, but we're okay with just letting anybody walk through the customs, right? And so it's just crazy, bro. You just go, oh, you got a visa? Okay, just come through. Well, okay, so what sort of diseases you get? There should be the answers there. Where's your medical certificate before you come to our country? What's your criminal record, right? Have you abused children in your country? And this is what's happening in like Philippines right now. There's really questioning all that shit because a lot of stuff is happening in Philippines where tourists, foreigners are coming in and they've got CP arrests back home, right? And even worse things back home. And so they just get, because they're just able to get the passport and go across for it. Oh yeah, here's a tourist. And I'm really, really on the side of like doing background checks, right? For anybody entering into the country. People like now are crying about, oh, when you go to America, this and that. It's like, well, UK is doing a crazy thing that we're going to look at in another episode where if you're a UK citizen, if you're a citizen of another country, you can't have you can't just go into back into I'll get to this in a minute. You can't go back into you can't go to Britain right now. You either you got to pay a certain amount of money, I think £1,700 to get back into England because you can't have dual citizenship. My dad came to New Zealand when he was 23 years old in 1962, right? And I said, Dad, well, don't you have a red passport from England? He goes, nah, never had one. The moment I dropped in, the moment I stepped off the plane in Australia, because that's where they went, then they came over here. And so he said, the moment I got off the plane in 1962 in Australia, they handed me, they took my name and details and handed me a piece of paper. You are no longer British. Now you're here, right? And so when Dad moved over to New Zealand, and that was that. So he's never been a British citizen. So, but this is just crazy, bro. What's happening with all this stuff open? With people just
yeah.
mismigrate. Carry on.
Oh, I mean, as we see here, apparently you lost a bet and have to do 2 shows in a row with me. Apparently, but it could be worse. You could be hosting a show with a Lazmat.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, that'd be awful.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like we need to get into like into like a situation. Oh, for those people who don't know who Ed Smith is, he's a documentarian. He makes documentaries about a poisonous organization group and independent comic book scene called Comicsgate, where they themselves had some pedos, where they themselves
duck
promoted pedos. Yeah. So So I want to let Timothy talk a bit about this, more about this, about pedos in Comicsgate, right? And by the way,
there was quite a few of them.
One sec. Also, in Comicsgate, it's not a brand; it's actually a business name. It's a trademark name.
Yeah,
It's not a group anymore. It's actually a business. So that every time you use Comicsgate, it's a business, right? But this group basically had pedos in there, and they wanted to come across and say, "Hey, we're a Christian conservative group," right? Which it was at the start, kinda. But then what happened? What happened?
I don't think those guys were ever. No, I don't think they were ever. I don't think they were ever really conservative. Yeah, I'll speak ill of you all day long, Matt. How do you like them apples?
Well, I'm not, because I actually appreciate you, Matt. I appreciate the work you do, man. For everybody who's watching who hasn't heard of Les Matt, go check out his channel, subscribe to him, and look up the documentaries, or what is it called, Les Matt? Share a link, man, because they need to know about this cesspool that is Comicsgate. Not everybody knows. All right, let's head back to the Russian girls, the little girls, and Bill Gates. Never let Bill Gates get away with anything. Never let him talk good about himself or anything he's a part of. Ever.
How did Bill Gates want to deal with Jeffrey Epstein?
I regretted having those dinners.
Shit, I thought that something else was playing. Like those, he was doing it at the same time Benny was, and I was like, wait, what happened? Did I screw up? Let's go back.
I mean, how much more do you need, right? So he said that Bill Gates got an STD, and he recommended, because from these Russian women, and he recommended slipping Melinda special pills in order to deal with it. How did Bill Gates want to deal with Jeffrey Epstein?
I regretted having those dinners. And there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Sure, it was just
Is there a
dinners.
lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look at that. Oh, he's dead. So he can't actually, give evidence about what I was up to, right? What I was doing with the little girls, moving them along on my private plane, right? At private airports, right? Look at that scummy face of this ugly, horrible human being that should have every single cent taken away from him and locked up in Jan Pop with the pedo haters, because everybody in prison hates pedos because they love their kids and they miss not being next to their kids, and prison justice will take care of him. But I'd rather he be tortured forever than than just find peace by being kind of like Minecrafted or straight away. I'd rather he be like treated like a daily water torture type thing, right? Because of all the girls that suffer because of the fact he's a billionaire, right?
I've never seen anything like this. Look at his evil grin. This is one of the most.
I was gonna say, if you're a religious man at all, God will take care of him.
Yeah,
And
I'd
send him
rather not
straight to
go
hell.
for. Yeah, I'd rather not worry about that. He did the crime here. I want punishment here. See, I'm with the Iranians on this, right? When it comes to IRGC, the Iranians have said we will take care of all these mullahs, all these people who have abused us for 47 years of our lives, for generation, right? Who've killed our mothers, our sisters, who've tortured us, who've imprisoned them, who've beaten them in the streets, right? So I want justice on earth. I'm okay, fine, yeah, but like a religion, yeah, fine. In hell, yeah, I believe in that as well. But I like to see justice on earth. I don't like having my head in the clouds, right? Because if you do the crime on earth, you deserve the punishment you've done on earth, right? Because this weasel of a human being deserves water torture daily basis. Because he had so much power, because he was so rich, bro. Multi-billionaire. Like, look, when I went to look up how much, just what Melinda got. I had a friend whose name was Belinda. So I'm just kind of like thinking that. Let me just bring up this where all right, so check this out, dude. So this is how much Melinda got, right, in a divorce in 2021. However, recent tax filings revealed in 2026, this month, in 2024, Bill Gates transferred $7.88 billion to Melinda from Gates' private foundation, Pivotal Philanthropies, right? As part of the settlement deal. This was one of the largest single charitable contributions ever publicly recorded, and fulfilled a substantial portion of a broader commitment. The total settlement is estimated at around $76 billion, bro. $76 billion in assets transferred to Melinda based on Bill Gates' net worth at the time of the divorce 5 years ago, which was 130 to 134 billion. With reports suggesting that Melinda received roughly half or large portion in cash, stocks, and other assets. Additional transfers include 4.6 billion to Pivotal Ventures, Melinda's investment and advocacy organization, which is required publicly to disclose tax filings, bringing the known total to be at least 12.5 billion pledged by her for the for this thing, for their independent philanthropic work. So current net worth after the divorce is at around $100 billion. Sorry, 29 to 30 billion. But Bill has fuck. That's it, bro. That's what I was saying. That's what I was looking for. Freaking hell, it's fuck you money. That's the word I was looking for. It's fuck you money. This dude has got $100 billion of them. So that's why he could get away with all this. And now, because Epstein's dead, he thinks he got away with it.
Could you imagine what you and I would do with that kind of money?
I don't want to be near that.
Like what?
I wouldn't want to be near that much money, bro. I would lose my shit. I'm happy with having $100.
Yeah, but if an average human being like you and I got that kind of money, the things like with our comic books, right?
Right.
But yet these sickos are the ones that get the money.
But yeah, they've done they've made FU money, right? And I will never hold that up against them. However, while having that FU money, they want to preach to us how to live our lives and think of great little kids. Right. Get on TV and tell us, hey, you You should do this. You should do that. You should eat worms while we eat steak and lobster and whatever else.
Fly and go through private airports
Yeah.
with your gross ass. Disgusting.
With underage girls.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Most evil men on earth. Like so many smooth brain libs trusted this demon with their health during COVID. Look at this guy. He's dead. Dude, evil. You are evil. Tucker and Elon said the same
You think
thing.
there's some overlap?
Strong overlap. Strong overlap.
Tucker is the most hated person by the Iranian revolutionists, by the Iranian people who are being harmed right now. Tucker is the most hated person because the IRGC have him talking about how bad America and the West is on the TV all day long. He's basically used as propaganda for the Islamic State. Tucker Carlson.
When are we going to see that list, do you think?
I don't know. It's mind blowing that
I'm confused because Tucker Carlson's is a conservative. Why would he be talking shit about America?
You know, Candace Owens is a conservative as well, right? And now she's like doing the same thing that Tucker Carlson is. Because here's the thing about this.
What?
Right? You can't be two-faced, right? You can hate, you can say certain things and then say certain things, right? That's why, like, hypocrisy is one thing that I hate in myself, right? So if I see hypocrisy in myself, I get so pissed off at me, right?
Right.
So if I see it in other people, I get even more pissed off. But I get more pissed off at me if I see hypocrisy in myself. So Tucker Carlson's a hypocrite, right? He went overseas and like would say, "Oh, this is, you guys have it so well. I don't see anybody being tortured, right?" And then it's like, yeah, that's because you only get taken to where it's all good. You don't get to see the woman in prison having to get pulled out, right?
Although they can't then get on Bernie Sanders for praising Cuba for how well it's going over there, and right? Remember that?
Yeah,
he's
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
at the same time, you guys are praising an Islamic State and whatnot.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Like, that's what a lot of people don't know because everybody. And I never will hold anybody against their lack of knowledge about things, right? Because not everybody can get the access to have the time. Actually, I shouldn't say access. They don't have the time because everybody's got a life. They got to look after the kids. And so someone like me who's like, when I'm working, I have two screens open in front of me. One screen to work on and one screen with podcasts, with news and what have you, right? And like different channels. I don't watch just one channel. I've got like, Russia news. Actually, I don't really like watching Russia news. It just, But so I've got China news. I've got Asian news. I've got Australia news, New Zealand news, and different channels all open all the time because I'm moving from one to the other because most of the time I'm just drawing, right, or lettering. So it's easy for me to see the things. So but with other people, we've got to go do friggin' 60-70-hour works, 40-hour work, and then they got to go look after their kids. They don't have the time to know what I know. So that's why I like having to talk about this shit, do live streams, because a lot of people don't know what some of these people are talking, right? Like especially Tucker. They hit Tucker 24/7 on Iranian State Islamic TV, bro.
no, they've not tried to prosecute even one. Not even the worst offender on the Epstein client list. They have not even tried to prosecute even one. That's insane.
Well, because they have a lot of diabetic grandmothers who were outside the Capitol on January 6th. They're kind of occupied.
Yeah, they put like whatever 500 or 600 January 6 protesters in prison, and not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
There we go. The entire 3 million or so pages, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
Oh, that was on point.
Oh man, yeah.
Gates. Right? That's why I like Elon,
Yeah.
right? He just says what it. Look, here's the thing: Elon Gates says "fuck you, money," so he
Yeah.
can also say what he wants, right? But he
Right.
ain't out there, whatever with the kids or out there with the
Right,
private-
he's not.
Yeah.
He a little weird. He a little weird though. He a little weird, but I don't think he's evil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he's like, yo, what's up with trans and kids, right? And he's like, no, we don't want kids trans. We don't want them all vaccinated. We don't want them to lose their identity and taking their innocence away. So I like Musk for that, allowing us to have free information. Oh, by the way, I was like, I'm actually blocked from posting on other people's, commenting on other people's posts on Facebook
Why?
for 4 days, until the 4th. Because,
Did you get in trouble?
yeah, see, this is why I love Elon. I can post whatever the fuck I want on Twitter, but on Facebook, I can't. I don't change what I post on different, I don't change my politics or anything. I just say the same thing, right? But if I do that, Facebook's just like, no, you can't. Now, tell me.
Yeah, I just simply block people on Facebook. I don't even bother with it. Sorry.
Yeah, well, the thing was that, like, I post, stuff, but like I didn't expect them to like go, oh yeah, you're spamming. It's like, how am I spamming? All I'm doing is sharing news, right? Actual articles and videos that you can actually look at yourself. But yeah, I am so this thing holds with this man and Bill Gates.
And not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
Now that's the actual richest man on earth. One of the smartest, of course. He was right. Damn it. He was right. That's the only bombshell that we have thus far. Obviously, there's millions and millions of documents and photos and images to go through. So get ready. 3 million pages of records. In none of the communications, even when doing his best to disparage President Trump, did Epstein suggest President Trump had done anything criminal or have any inappropriate contact with any of his victims. But that's not true of Bill Gates. Ladies and gentlemen, we're cooking today.
But the leftists always go, oh, well, there's a photo of him there. In these circles, someone will snap a photo with you there, right? Oh, hey, how's it going? Because I've had photos with the mayor in Whangarei, right? But I've never actually had like an hour-long conversation with the mayor, right? I haven't been to the mayor's house. I haven't sat down and eaten, this is the previous mayor, I should say, Cheryl, but the new mayor actually, who's, before he became a mayor, actually invited me out for dinner, and we ate dinner, right? And so that was actually 2 different instances, but one was actually conversation, talking to Long Hour, interviewed him about, what he was going to do for us locally as a incumbent mayor or someone who's like running for mayor. But I think, it's just crazy, bro. But I'm so glad Trump got in.
Yeah, I believe Trump said that he found Epstein disgusting and had him removed from wherever one of his
Yeah, that's Mar-a-Lago.
he had him removed or something, or didn't want anything to do with him.
one of the, I think it's something like one of the young kids came up and said, this guy is creeping me out. And then he went over, found out what was going on, and said, hey, security, get him out of here, right? And so, yeah, he found something creepy was going on, and it's like, yeah, that was it. And it's just like Belinda. It's like, I had to meet this guy one time, right? And then I found him to be a disgusting, evil person. Yeah, Bill was like, I'm all in because he can get me the girls, right? He can get me the underage girls, the underage Russian girls.
Hey, stay tuned for more. But Democrats swung at Trump with the Epstein files, and it looks like they're going to take out their biggest donors, and it looks like they're going to take out their own presidents over it. Look at that.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Talking about presidents. So here's that one that I was going to talk about how, how leftists, right, are okay with when their people do stuff, but they're not okay with Republicans doing stuff, right? So this is a video from 2014, if I remember right. And I'll put the link in the chat as well, so people will know that, it's here. There we go. You can share it, do whatever you want with it. But this is Obama won't hold deportations for parents of kids brought to U.S. illegally.
Last time we spoke, you said that you weren't saying you were president. There are only certain things you could do unilaterally. As time goes on, 1,000 deportations on average a day. People are wondering.
Yo, did you hear that, bro?
Yep, 1,000 a day.
1,000 a day.
Yep.
Were they protesting with fighting ICE in the streets?
Nope.
Were they like showing up with guns, spitting on the on Obama's leftist supporters on the streets of the police? Were they pepper spraying or freaking hitting people with with flags and all that? I don't know, man. It's just. Oh, by the way, Telemundo, that's Mexican, right? Yeah.
Right. Telemundo.
Yeah. So he's getting interviewed in Mexico, by the way, by Mexican TV, right?
And our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds, that's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have, Jose, and I've said this consistently. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement. And what I have been able to do is to make a legal argument that I think is absolutely right, which is that given the resources we have, we can't do everything that Congress has asked us to do. What we can do is then carve out the DREAM Act folks, saying young people who have basically grown.
Hey, do you want to tell us what the DREAM Act is? Because I'm a Kiwi man, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me. A lot of things happen, and I forget. Hold on. You can play that video. I'm gonna look that. I'm gonna get a little refresher.
Okay.
What we can do is then carve out the DREAM Act folks, saying young people who have basically grown up here are Americans that we should welcome. We're not going to have them operate under a cloud, under a shadow. But if we start broadening that, then essentially I would be ignoring the law in a way that I think would be very difficult to defend legally. So that's not an option. And I do get a little worried that advocates of immigration reform start losing heart and immediately thinking, well, somehow there's an out here. If Congress doesn't act, we'll just have the president sign something and that'll take care of it. We won't have to worry about it. What I've said is that there's a path to get this done, and that's through Congress. And right now, everybody should be focused on making sure that bill that's already passed out of the Senate hits the floor of the House of Representatives. It's not as if the votes are not there. The votes are there. The only thing that's preventing it is the Speaker Boehner's decided that he doesn't want to call it right now.
So I found a brief summary of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more to it, but and again, let me apologize because a lot happens and you forget certain things that happen. But the DREAM Act is a long-running immigration proposal in the U.S. that would give certain undocumented immigrants brought to the country as children a pathway to legal status and protections from deportation. It has been introduced many times since 2001, but has never fully passed into law.
So who would it help? Undocumented immigrants who arrived in the U.S. before the age of 16, had lived in the U.S. for at least 5 years. So
Illegal's illegal. It shouldn't matter. I mean, there's so many people who have come to this country legally, and they've had to jump through so many hoops.
Yeah. If I wanted to go to America now, right? I would have to get a visa, go, tell them what I'm capable of, what my background is, if I have a police record or not, do I have anything crazy medical wise, mental health wise, and so on. So if you are illegal, you should be able to get any rights. You should be put on a plane and deported. If your visa expired, you should be deported.
If I snuck into another country, would I get that same kind of protection? No.
Leftists and their bleeding freaking hearts, bro, are destroying the world. You want to know what's crazy? Oh, carry on. You go and I'll find one.
I got one more point. Is it bleeding hearts, or they want to make people think they care when they actually just want control? It's the illusion of having a bleeding heart.
Yeah, actually, it's that hypocrisy, right? Any which way, but let me show you something. When it comes to crazy people, here's we'll come back to where we want to come back to because it makes me happy. So let me show you, because immigration is one thing that I'm really pissed off about right now, about open borders and shit. Like in a couple of weeks we're going to a couple episodes later we're going to come back more depth. So is this the one? I'm just going to make sure I've got the right one. What's this one? Change the name on the clip or what? Damn it, Esma, stop confusing me, man.
Oh, this one's been getting really popular. People have been talking about this a whole lot.
We're here to arrest a child sex offender, and you guys are out here honking. That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest.
Is the irony not so good that ICE is more diverse than the protests against ICE? I feel like half of the people that are in ICE aren't even white.
A child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
I think he's making a mistake by trying to reason with the...
See this? This, I'm going to say it. Moron is crying over deporting a rapist, a child rapist, out of America.
Right, because they don't care about they care about the cause, not about the people.
Bro, this kind of shit makes me angry, man. These fuckers, bro, like, they are destroying the world, bro. Right now, 500,000 illegals in Spain are being allowed to live in the country because they want to fight the far right. And what's far right? People who don't want illegals in their country. This is Spain, bro.
You notice that she's looking at her phone.
Yes.
See, it's
Yeah.
not about the actual, people. It's actually about just the cause and clout. They're doing that. So look at me. I care so much, so I'm gonna film myself, crying.
Yeah. It's performance. It's luck. It's role play. Go the fuck home and look after your families, and let the justice, let the eyes, let the police take care of the criminals. Go back home, you clown ass moron, right?
These people, they're not reasonable. You can't explain it to them. Why?
Women use tears to gaslight and blackmail, bro. No matter what subject, no matter what situation, because it looks good on TV. It looks good in photos, right? It looks good in media. But there she is. Oh, look, record this. Record me performing. This is the same thing that was about Palestine, bro. I'm going to play some shit about that soon. But, like, man, I don't know, bro. These people, bro, they...
You noticed that she was looking around when she was filming, right?
Yeah. Like I said, performative, yeah.
She was not making sure people were looking at her while she was crying.
Yeah.
Is it always white women who hate ICE? White women.
Yeah, it's white women. It's always white women. Look, it's always white women. White leftist women are the worst, bro.
I think feel like they can do this because
look at this bitch. She's like blowing a whistle while they're trying to get her of a child predator, a child rapist, not a predator, a rapist. He's actually done it.
Disgusting.
I want this person to be housed with that rapist alone in a cell. All of them. Just that man, that one child rapist, and all these women in that same cell, bro. Justice will be served.
You remember Kyle Rittenhouse?
Hold on. Then they'll come out, right? Then they'll come and go, oh, yeah, she'll go, I deserve that. He deserves to, it's his right as a man, as an ethnic man, to use me because because of my white history colonizing blood. My forebears treated his people bad. Right? That's how they see these things, bro. Right?
Oh, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse, right?
Yeah.
Remember the first person he shot? Kyle was the first person he shot was a registered sex offender. And they were like, oh no, those poor people that that Kyle Rittenhouse shot. Oh no, oh. And then all of a sudden it came out that the first guy he shot was but it's just, I don't know. People are disgusting.
Yeah, bro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that word.
No, they are, though. People are disgusting.
is they're white. I think that they have this idea that white women have a privilege, that they can go out and be violent, aggressive, and break.
They should be all been arrested. I'm tired of these people just laughing. Look at her. She's recording, blowing whistle, right? It's all performative. There's a place in hell for these people, bro. I'm sure there must be, man. Right? These are like, there's 9 circles in hell, right? And there's a circle for traitors, right? Let me just find it, because I know there's a circle for traitors who betray their own country and stuff. What is the circle? Circle in hell for traitors. and betrayers. Because I know that's there because I had to write it for Templeton Comic Book. I had to put out there was like a double page, and it's this scene for Palestine, and I had to assume I've been up in a minute and show that. But let me see. Yeah, this it's the fourth. So here you go. So the details of the ninth circle, right? So the circle in hell reserved for traitors and betrayers is the ninth circle in Dante Alighieri's Inferno.
Divine Comedy, yeah.
The
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, written in the 14th century. So details of the ninth circle, right? Cocytus, a frozen lake at the very bottom of hell, location, the absolutely deepest, coldest, and most remotest part of the hell. Punishment, completely frozen in ice. Isn't it interesting?
That's kind of funny.
Right?
You know what would be great though? You see they have to film themselves, so all those people you put their face on a poster, and then you say
Betrayal.
that these people defended an illegal alien and also a PDF file.
Yeah, an illegal alien pedophile. Yeah. So, so the punishment is completely frozen in ice, symbolizing the coldness of their hearts and the complete isolation imposed on others through betrayal. And I'm reading this from Google, right? I'm not Google, sorry, from Grok.
I have a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah, I remember reading Dante's Inferno when I was a few years back, probably 20 years ago. I was looking at all this, but so look at that. And here's goes frozen in ice, completely, not just a little, completely frozen in ice, symbolizing their coldness of their hearts and the complete isolation they impose on others through betrayal. Why ice? Dante portrays betrayal as the ultimate sin against love and trust, the coldest, most heartless act possible. The deeper the betrayal, the deeper the sinner is frozen. Right? And there's 4 circles, by the way, in hell. I mean, in the 9th circle. Right? So you got
There's 9 circles. Yeah.
Here's go. So this is the one that came to mind just then, right? Antinora, traitors to country and political party, named after Antenor, who betrayed Troy. Oh, right. We looked at Troy a couple of weeks ago on, and I forgot to tell people the book that they should read about Odysseus that I actually own, which was a cover for the placeholder. But it's a good book, man. It's a really good graphic novel. So so this is the one that really got to me here, right? Selling out your own country. First, they're selling out your family, right? Then selling out your country. Then selling out your guests who come to live in your home, but you sell them out. This is to do with, I think it was Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And they wouldn't let people take visitors, right? Because Sodom and Gomorrah was, this horrible thing. And then you've also got traitors to benefactors and lords, people who take care of you, right? People who care for you, and you sell them out. Yeah. But this is the one we got to concentrate on when it comes to these despicable people protesting against ICE removing illegal criminals from America, and then these same political people who sell out their countries to these same people, right? Illegals, migrants, and so on. And like I said, in Spain, they just gave the legal status to 500,000. That's 500,000. How the hell are you supposed to look after 500,000 in a country like Spain? Provide them homes, give them money, give them clothing, give them vehicles. It's disgusting, bro. these bleeding heart liberals, bro. I used to be a liberal, like the classical liberal. Now I don't even class myself as that. Not even a liberal anymore, bro.
Well, I mean, I used to be like a long time ago a Democrat, and then I learned to like myself, and then I turn around and like they're saying, well, you need to hate yourself because you're white. I'm like, well, f that. I ain't doing that shit. I ain't going back to that shit.
If any, yeah, I don't put up with that shit, bro. Like, I have mixed race family, and I've got like in my family, there's about 5 different races, like in my extended family and so on. So if any of them in any time I've been, put down, I'm like, fuck off. I'm not gonna let you get away with that shit. But the other thing is, if any of them put down, white people, I'll be like, I won't ever get away with that shit either. Because I just, but look at these performer bitches. She should have been like thrown to the ground, arrested, and jailed as a traitor.
The law, and they will effectively just get a slap on the wrist.
Be a race traitor?
See, again, y'all are throwing race into all of this. Nobody's throwing race into
The other,
like a white bitch calling a black dude a race traitor because he's getting rid of the freaking illegal child rapists and murderers. I get so angry, bro. This shit.
Why is it some white bitch that gets to tell people that they're race traders?
That's why black people hate white people, bro. Because of this sort of shit. Because it's hypocrisy, bitches like this.
reason why is because I think a lot of white women have like this internalized white guilt.
It's power tripping, bro. Look at them hiding their faces.
If they were proud of what they were doing, why do they not get bothered by people filming them?
Yeah, but that's the same thing they try to use against people who are hiding their faces with ice, right? Masks. But these guys were the ones who started all this first with Antifa and shit, right? I would love to be walking around with pepper spray right now, just spraying them all. Yo, psst, psst, one for you, traitor. One for you, traitor. One for you, traitor. Come up here, bro. You smell a bit bad. Try, let me, check out my, my Dolce Gabbana or my Calvin Klein smells. Let me get some deodorant on. Split on the eyes, bro. Yeah. I'm just tired of the shit, man. I'm tired of illegals. I'm tired of people abusing our systems in the West. Here we are.
We've had nearly a decade of just nothing but protesting from this side, from the left side, right?
And burning down.
Yeah, don't people get tired of these people already? Wish they just go back to your jobs or your life.
They don't have any, bro, because it's mom and dad's paying for their upkeep. They're on EBT, right? They're on social support. It's disgusting, man. I don't know why they're not already arrested. The moment they set foot, they should be arrested. That's it.
Hail of rubber bullets or something.
Yeah. Oh, I won't go too far. I'll just go instant arrest. If they fight, I'll add another sentence to that. If they if they fight back, or if they get abusive, add another day, another month. Just keep adding it on, because then they'll start learning that, hey, where are you going to take me? Oh, I'm just going to put you next to the same illegal migrant that had abused children. I'm going to put you next in that same cell. Right? Because now he's saying he's a trans dude. Now he's like a female, so we got to have to put him with the other female. So here you go. Now you got this, child rapist next to you. Let's go.
They use going after ICE agents as a way to work that white guilt off. It's atonement. Yeah, exactly. It's atonement. What is this? Liberal white woman leaves a farewell message to her mom in case she's executed by ICE.
If I am executed by ICE.
Retarded. That's what that is.
This is role playing in the West. right now, people in Iran are doing this as a message to their parents and loved ones because they know they will be killed. Because they're like, hey, remember remember me because I'm doing this for the future of our children. But here in the West, right? Here in the West, these people are role playing.
That's kind of like they just kind of spit in the faces of the people in it was Iran.
Yeah.
That they're actually risking their necks for that kind of thing.
Talking about someone who's just spitting in the face of people over there, let's move on to something a bit more, more.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah, let's do that because this sort of shit makes me angry, bro. So let's go to WWE. Once it opens up.
So as the Royal Rumble is approaching in Riyadh, there has been a lot of press, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, a lot of discussion and controversy surrounding a couple photos that have been flourishing online. Now check this out, right? Triple fraud, we already know that this guy is heavily obsessed. So,
by the way, this guy is speaking from a point of view of like pro-Islam, right? But I want to show you the hypocrisy of all this because of how she dresses in the West and then how she goes and dresses in Saudi Arabia, a Muslim country. But not a Muslim state like Iran, but still, they do still have some crazy, laws against it. That kind of like is anti-woman, because Islam is anti-woman, by the way. Yes, you guys know, our viewers, it's very anti.
Oh, really?
Islam is the most misogynistic, patriarchal religion on earth, and it's not even a religion; it's an ideology, a political ideology. Right? It's a cult of, it's a death cult. It's cancer. It needs to be cut out of the West. But yeah.
Rhea, we're gonna eat Dubai chocolate together. Rhea Ripley and Triple H are obviously a weird entity in the WWE space. Now check this out, right? Rhea Ripley, Triple H's beloved, has been caught in some hot.
She looks so dumb.
Yeah. So coming up soon, I'm going to show you guys exactly why this is disgusting.
Water. Rhea Ripley on a roller coaster in Riyadh wearing a hijab. Now you might say, Intern John, what does the hijab have to do with anything? Like, are you saying that she's not respecting the culture? No, she is respecting the culture, but it is kind of weird that Saudi, right, the prince, all these people are just, disregarding the complete opposite traits and values she holds. All right, look, littered head to toe,
the hypocrisy, right? The hypocrisy of it all. In America, I can dress like this, and she's Australian, by the way. In Australia, we can do this, be tattooed, top to bottom, do whatever the fuck I want, whatever. But now I'm going to go to a Muslim country. I'm just going to put on a cover my head. I'm fine. But also, I'm going to put on a robe, right? Skin type, whatever, all black. And right now in Iran, people are dying to be able to have the same freedom that she does in the West, in America, all over the world, I should say. She can come to New Zealand, be like this. She can go to Australia, America, Canada, Asia, but not in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia. But money talks and bullshit walks, right?
Tattoos every single inch of her body, dude. Tattoos in Saudi Arabia are considered haram. And for some reason...
And haram is sinful, right? That's what I like, look, I'm not pro-Islam. I fucking despise that shit, right? But it's just the hypocrisy of it all. Because, like I said, women are dying for the same reason, same freedom she had, and are dying over there, right? Not to the extreme in Saudi Arabia, but I mean, not to the extreme in Iran.
Reason Rhea Ripley gets the pass just because she brings money to the table. She brings in
Like I said, money talks and bullshit walks.
dollars to the economy, right? It is just so weird. Now check this out again. It's all haram. The way
Right? It's all sinful. Right? I don't even watch WWE. I despise WWE. Right? I grew up watching it, but for the last 20 odd years, I just couldn't handle the bullshit they just do, right?
she pins people.
Now, I don't have anything against. I watch female wrestling. I do every other week.
Yeah.
So I have nothing with women wrestlers at all. It's the hypocrisy of it all, right?
Has to be something they need to confront, okay? She cannot be doing this in Saudi goddamn Arabia, all right? She just can't be doing it. But I think Triple H will probably pull some strings. He'll probably talk to the prince, talk to the higher-ups, and say that Rhea Ripley...
I mean, they call it a sexy pin. Bro, she's trying to slam her, bro. This ain't no
She's
sexy
probably not.
pin.
You ever heard of a wrestler named Viva Van or what's her name? Zeta Zhang?
I remember those names, but I don't know what their finishes are.
Oh, well, I'd say they're probably better than this lady.
Oh, most wrestlers are better than anybody in WWE, bro.
Yeah.
Right. 50% of the time is talking, bro. Right.
They used to be cool back in the day, though.
Yeah, well,
The Attitude Era.
Not in the last freaking 15 years or so, or 20 years, right? Because now all they do is talk and cut to commercial, talking, cut to commercial, right? It's just like how do we get more money out of people? And here's the thing: most people who actually like the fans of them who watch it, they all complain about it, but they still go back, bro. They have a torture fetish, right? They have a humiliation torture fetish. WWE fans.
Was that the Royal Rumble or something?
Yeah, it's today or tomorrow, Royal Rumble, right? But this is it's in Saudi Arabia right now. So, yeah. So they're all over there doing, visiting their charity places before they go into the show. But this is their pin, right? The intercourse pin, the sex pin, sexy pin, right? This is seen as sinful. The worst of the worst. The fact that she's actually in a bikini or whatever freaking, whatever they call these now, right? Goon suits. That it's that'll get a woman killed over there.
There's a number of things that will get people killed over there.
Yeah.
This is how she pins. This is part of her character. So, yeah, Rhea, keep pinning.
Oh, yeah, and the other thing is, families where their kids go to this, right? And this is what really grosses me out about this. Is I even sometimes get grossed out about other places I should watch shows. Other indie companies I watch. Sometimes go, oh, dude, it's just a bit too much, right? But then again, I like no holds barred wrestling. So I'm 53 years old. I'm not a child anymore. I can handle it. But then if I see a 9-year-old kid over here going, "Mama, what's going on here?" I gotta ask myself, you taking your kids to what's that?
Keep doing this position. Awesome. Now check this out, right? Rhea Ripley, if you guys haven't forgot, during WWE Unreal, it was revealed that Rhea Ripley loves taxidermy. The goddamn poor chicken in there, man. I like octopus. I like bats. I like crocodiles, right? She's going on, and they're just encased in these poor little glass little containers, right? What the hell is that? Okay. Basically, this is crazy. Honestly, this. Oh my God. I don't even know if I can show that. All right. But look, she is obsessed with the complete opposite traits and values that a Saudi person would hold, right? Straight up. It is weird. Check this out. Again, is taxidermy illegal in Saudi Arabia? I just searched this up out of curiosity. Yes, it's generally prohibited in Saudi Arabia, particularly regarding its importation and display. Again, Rhea Ripley is crossing all the boundaries. It is so weird, man. All right. And again, this goes past, her tattoos, her taxidermy, her, her finisher, her pin, her entrance with Io Sky, has been getting weirder and weirder every single time they appear on screen.
The horror show, bro. Look, what is this mask? Is she trying to be like the male version of Marilyn Manson? Like, is that what her character is? It's like, how much closer can I, become like looking like Marilyn Manson? And I like Marilyn Manson, by the way. But
okay, this right here, the touching face, sometimes her hand trickles down to this area right here, and it's just weird. It's getting weird. And if they do that in Saudi Arabia, that just shows you the weird, deal that they have. It's a complete contradiction to everything they say.
this is what I was talking about. Like, all right, so she's gonna be wearing this. She ain't gonna be like in a bikini, right? So she's gonna be like wearing black all over to make sure that no skin is sharp.
That still isn't any better, is it?
No.
Is she supposed to be like the female?
Why did you get built like a pin like this? Carry on, dude.
I was gonna say she's supposed to be like the female Undertaker or something.
No, she's supposed to be female China. She's a replacement for China, for Triple H, to have a crossplay as China, and then go over the top. It's just gross. It's just gross, bro.
Stand for, all right? It's just weird. Now she did it, I think this is 2023, 2022. She wore the suit, and this is the problem, right? Everybody's going to be wearing a suit, so apparently this is okay. Now look, the Saudis, they definitely know what the hell this position is. They know exactly what type of, outfit she's wearing and what it's alluding to, and what all these women are actually alluding to.
Yeah, it's the goon. What's it called? The goon suit. The goon suit or gimp suit? The gimp suit. I'm thinking of like Pulp Fiction, right? The gimp suit.
Yeah.
It's definitely the gimp suit, man.
To be honest, all right? Because look, I saw this post right here. Boom. Right? This is insane. All right? These guys are editing. The graphic designers in WWE, they're working overtime and editing, accurate bodysuits on each of the members because, again, they're trying to be respectful of the culture, right? Trying to be respectful. And then what happens, right? What happens? What the hell happens? This is going to happen, right? You're going to allow that Triple H. You're going to allow that Prince. What are we doing? Again, taxidermy, tattoos, right? Punk rock, whatever the hell she listens to. It's just all haram. And the fact that we have to talk about this, it's just weird. Her wearing the hijab is just honestly a way of like mockery.
Now, I am going to bring up the reason I brought that up. And, here we go.
Now, y'all can go ahead and call me Islamophobic till you're blue in the face, but I believe that this right here is wrong. Simple. This young lady right here, actually, well, let's start here. This young lady right here posted a simple TikTok video dancing. As you can see, it's her right there. And not too long after, she was beat to a pulp by her own father and brother for having not worn her headscarf or her hijab in that video. Yeah, this is not an isolated situation. As a matter of fact, here's an image of a young lady who was mutilated for, you guessed it, not wearing a headscarf once again. Any ideology that will do this to you for what you decide to or not to wear is problematic, to say the least. Now, y'all can go ahead and call me Islamophobic till you're blue in the face, but I believe that this right here is wrong. Simple. This young lady right here, actually, well, let's start here. This young lady right here posted a simple TikTok video dancing. As you can see, it's her right there. And not too long after, she was beat to a pulp by her own father and brother for having not worn her headscarf or her hijab in that video.
Go back to the Western female wrestler in, right? In America, in WWE, right now, performing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Where do we stop? We stop here.
So as the Royals willing to go to get paid.
There was that one. Go forward a bit. I think there was another little. Yeah. We'll leave it. We'll leave Undertaker for a bit. He's retired, but he still gets called up to do weird shit. Right.
Almost like that. All right. The disrespect is very subtle. And again, it all comes back to one person and one person only, which is who? Triple fraud. My name is Paul. So, yeah, we're going to go to Riyadh and have a great event and make millions of dollars. Yeah, so we're going to make millions of dollars with Riyadh doing the pin. Our tattoos we can cover with graphics and Dubai chocolate. I mean, stuff. Yeah, leather. Okay, Triple H, it's all coming back to you. All right, it's you and the people who are controlling you, like the puppeteer you are. That's what's happening. And honestly, it's so disrespectful, man. It's so disrespectful. Think about it, guys.
I could get less, to be honest, about disrespect. I care more about what's happening to people in Islam, to the women in Islam, the kids, to the little girl. But she gets to get away with it.
For a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Not wearing a scarf.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up.
The things that happens to Muslim kids and families, bro.
Yep.
I had my artist on Templeton do a 2-page artwork, because Templeton's about health, right? And about souls and stuff like that. And
Right.
so I had my artist draw up a script, 2-page script that had to go, because when I wrote it, I didn't actually put any description or panels in it. Like this, wrote a while back. And so he got to the stage, he goes, hey, what do you want done on these pages? So, you know what? Let me, this is like about 5 years later, I'm looking to write it. And he goes, because it's issue 2, we're putting out 1 and 2 at the same time. So, so he goes, hey, and I remembered that there was an 8-year-old girl, right, in Pakistani girl in England, who was beaten with a bat, who was burnt with an iron, who was slapped around, and had so many terrible things to done, and then left dead by the family. There was 3 adults, uncle, mother, and I think stepfather or something like, all or stepmother or something. It was just like this weird family, and they had 5 kids, and she's the one that had to wear the hijab, the black all over, right? And so she went to school. Nobody knew that there was burns, there was bite marks on this little 8-year-old girl's body, and I was like, this is, you know, I gotta make sure people don't forget this little child, right? And hey, we work in comics, and it is what it is. We do it for entertainment, but sometimes, you know, we get to tell stories, and sorry, I got a call. I'm gonna decline that. It's not letting me decline. So mum, my parent, you know.
Somebody's gonna get in trouble.
No, well, I'm never getting in trouble with my parents because I usually, well, sometimes I do like that. It's like apologies.
Right.
Best to apologize right away, whether you did wrong or not, right? But so I had because nobody at school, the kids that you went to school with, right? This is in the UK, knew anything was happening. So her hands there was no marks on her hands, no marks on her face, because everything she wore, her face was no marks on the face, but everywhere else, bro, burn marks, cuts, bites, and these guys, and the only reason they found out was that when they got over that, when they ran out, took all the kids, packed them up, got on the plane, got into Pakistan, then they kind of like called up and said, "Oh, I think I killed my daughter," and then the police go up and find out that she's lying there in the bed, dead. She's 8 years old, bro. This is why I despise people who promote Islam, and especially white people who do it and Westerners who do it, because they don't know how rough they suffer, man. Sorry, carry on.
Did they do that deliberately? Like they'd hit part. They would burn or hit parts of her that would be covered.
Yeah, that's why they left the face and hands unmarked. Yeah. Let me see if I can, because I had to actually send this, and this is that hard part about this is like actually then getting my artist to go put them through it, to read it, to draw these kids up, to draw these things happening to this little child, and and it's like, I don't want to put you through this, but we gotta remember this kid. This kid needs to be remembered, right? That she meant something when the little 8 years she had in this world, that we can't forget her life, right? Her life holds value. That and that's why right now people in Iran are fighting against their oppressors, right? And things that are happening to them there, and has been happening for 47 years, bro. So I'm gonna go to that for a bit, and then I want to talk about John Stinsman, and a comic book artist who's going through some issues, and it's got a kind of a fundraiser going on, and then we'll finish up with Ghost in the Shell. So 3 more little videos, and we're out. So this is a cosmetic brand, right? Promoting that same.
I don't think I have the right to have an opinion.
This is this lady who owns a cosmetic brand called Huda, right? Her name's Huda Katan, and she is supporting the very terrorists that the Iranian people are fighting to free themselves from, right?
On what's going on in Iran. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that I have the right to have an opinion and to voice my opinion on something that is happening internally in a country.
IG feed right now is mostly of angry Iranian women destroying their Huda beauty products or throwing them in the trash because of the makeup mogul's intensive comments about Iran. Look at this.
It's not the first time. Previously, she did the same with Hamas. And I'm going to walk you through both incidents because I think at this point, we've crossed every conceivable line.
So the founder of Huda Beauty, a big beauty blog, was slammed by Iranians for sharing pro-regime, pro-IRGC protest videos, and then ended up regretting it and having to sort of respond to.
So she says she doesn't have a right to an opinion, but she's giving an opinion about the opinion she has no right to give.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and so the people who are like, the Iranians like, fuck this bitch. How dare she promote, the Islamic State, right? Who oppressed us. Because Iranian people hate Palestine. Because the money that's been stolen from the Iranian people has been used for terrorism around the world, and especially for Palestinians, right? Hamas and Hezbollah, all those terrorist work. Iran is the world's biggest funder of terrorism around the world, just in the Middle East, around the world. And they kill journalists, right, around the world who speak out against Iran. And we're going to be looking at a couple things down the road. Because I've got, there's a documentary that was just made out of Australia on 60 Minutes, I think it was. And that's like a, international news.
What country is she from?
Hold on. I want to play this and I'll come back to you because I think there's something going on with my guys.
To it publicly. Let's take a look. So Huda Beauty founder slammed by Iranians for sharing pro-regime protest video. Free Palestine activist Huda Katan has been called out for sharing a video showing pro-regime protesters burning photos of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and Trump. That's crazy on Instagram account too.
So here's she promoting anti-American, anti-Iranian propaganda. Right? She's okay with that, but she can't speak about, supporting her people, right? Supporting the Iranian people against their oppressors, the very oppressors, right? That she doesn't have to comment about, but she's promoting it. So, Ollie London gets Huda Beauty founder slammed by Iranians for sharing pro-regime protest video. Free Palestine activist Huda Katan has been called out for sharing a video showing pro-regime protesters burning photos of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, which the Iranian people, he's been exiled from Iran, and Trump, But this is the Iranian people want Trump. The Iranian people want Reza to come and set the country back to what it was, right, on the right track to becoming just like the West. But issues in the ship.
Yeah. Neilberg wrote that Huda Beauty, after posting pro-regime propaganda and receiving massive backlash from Iranians, I'm not pro-regime, I don't know enough about it, I don't have the right to have an opinion. Look at this.
I know a lot of people all over the world are very, very upset. A lot of Iranians who've left Iran are very upset with what's going on in Iran. And I really, truly feel for a lot of people. And I also feel for a lot of people in Iran who are going through things that I just can't imagine. I'm seeing a lot of people online right now saying I'm pro-regime. Transparently, I'm not pro-regime, but I also don't know enough about the regime. I've heard a lot of mixed things. And I don't think I have the right to have an opinion on what's going on in Iran. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that I have the right to have an opinion and to voice my opinion on something that is happening internally in a country. And people are comparing it to Palestine and Israel. It's very different. There was a country oppressing another country. This is internal issues. As an Iraqi, we had internal issues. And we had America come save us. Guess what? 2.5 decades later, the country is in shambles. And America and Israel have never done anything good for the Middle East. And you have to wonder why they want to go into any country in the first place.
America and Israel have never done anything good for the Middle East. It's not like Israel this past year single-handedly took out the top lines of Hamas, the top lines of Hezbollah, people inside of the Houthi rebels, and they have single-handedly, in places outside of where they would be, which is the Gaza Strip, taken out leaders of Hamas while they were in Qatar, or was it Iran? I forget, in Tehran, I forget, doesn't matter. It's not like they've done anything good for the Middle East by literally helping this whole world just cross off literally listed terrorists.
Anybody who thinks otherwise, right? Because without Israel being there as a buffer, the world would be run with terrorists. Because the billions from the oil that's being spent to terrorize the world came out of Iran, right? And look, she was born in she's born in Oklahoma, bro, right? To Iraqi parents, right? Grew up in Tennessee and later California. She's a white, Iraqi privileged American, bro. This is what happens to these.
Is she still in the States? Because I think if she's supporting like terrorism.
Oh no, she's in Dubai, bro. UEA.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
she should not be allowed back in the United States ever.
Exactly. That's what I'm for, bro. If you're out here promoting and betraying your country and talking shit about your country, yeah, you can talk shit about your country, but you don't deserve to live there again. Go back to Iraq, right? That's where your family's from, right? This, like, sometimes I just feel like tolerance. You give people too much liberty. Like, I never speak bad about.
You can't tolerate everything. That's incredibly impossible.
Islam doesn't. Islam does not tolerate much at all, right? But they don't tolerate nothing, right? It's their way, or you pay tax for your life, or they kill you, right? Either you convert, or you pay tax, or you die. And if you look at the videos I've been sharing on the Monkey King channel, which is there, you'll find out that that's what they believe, what they say. It's all there from the horse's mouth, as they say, right? So if someone's doing this, hey, go live elsewhere. That's what I'm saying. Like, as a Kiwi from Fiji, I came over here in the 1980s, right? Probably like 1980, right? Christmas time. I've been here ever since, and I never would talk bad about New Zealand. Yeah, I might say some shit that's going on about in politics and stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, this is my home. I ain't gonna say anything bad about my home, right? So whenever people say, "Well, where are you from?" I'm from beautiful New Zealand, because it is beautiful. I have so much privilege in this country that I would never have in Fiji. Not saying that Fiji people don't have privilege, but I have too much privilege, and I love that.
Yeah. It's like I say, the United States isn't perfect, but it's home. I don't know. I've never been to Norway. I've never been to the old country. I've grown up in the United States, so it's home.
Yeah, you either love where you are or you get the hell out, right?
If you don't love where you live, or where you grow up, then you really don't love yourself.
Yeah, go live somewhere else. That's like celebrities, man. They're, if Trump gets in, I'm going to leave the country, and 90% of them stay. Right? It's all performative. They just, they all want to play the activism card, right? Yeah, I'm going to leave the country if Trump gets in. It's like, well, where are you now? Oh, I'm just here in my mansion, living large with my servants. I hate hypocrisy, bro. And leftists are the most hypocrites and most hypocritic in the world. Hypocrites, hypocrites. Anyway, so here's the link for the rest of the video. But yeah, this came across my homepage there. I didn't even know about it. This broke out about a day or two ago, so it was new to me. But I thought I'd play it because it's just like, I just thought it was ridiculous how you could be out there doing that. So
on her Twitter profile, I sent her a GIF of a person flipping her off.
So So let me get the link for this. This is a gentleman by the name of John Hostinson. He's here's my link. Perfect. It's like a short share. So he's a bit, has some health issues, as you do. So where is it? This is called The Journey to Set, the to regain my life. So this had some issues, health issues. You have to do that on my screen. Just started to get cover over my StreamYard screen. So now we are, I'm a comic book writer, I'm a comic publisher, editor, letterer, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Run studios. Comic book studio. So, wait. I was looking at this. What is beveled? Asterisks, right? So it's like this freaking thing over here. And it's decided to give me that as the name. I'm like, wait, that's not what I'm supposed to write here. So, anyway, so John Stinsman. And like I said, I've talked to this guy. He's a great guy, right? He's an artist, been in 20 years career with image and so on. And he goes, my name is John Stinsman. I'm a professional illustrator and comic book artist who fell in love with art as a child. 20 years, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'm now a type 1 diabetic who was diagnosed late in life. And while I have been able to manage it, okay, so you guys can read the rest there. So if you can, right, every dollar helps. And if that's, I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't, it's up to you when it comes to donation. It's like what Jesus said, right? Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. Just go and donate and don't advertise about it. Just do it. Carry on.
Oh no, I think I was trying. I forgot to hit 2. I was commenting on the previous conversation. I forget. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's it. All right then. So I'm gonna now. One of my favorite animes and IPs manga is Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
and so
that's a good one.
Ghost in the Shell, and this, palette fans after all that. Ghost in the Shell is returning in July.
Really?
Yes, it's an anime, and so I'm very excited, and I'm still humming and hawing about spending over $100 on a hardcover Ghost in the Shell collector's edition manga.
No, I remember the anime.
Yeah, it's the best thing, man. So I've been trying forever, and I'm going to get it in April. I was supposed to go on a trip to Australia, and I'm going to be too busy, so I decided not to. So eBay, right? Before we go to that, it's like I've been humming and hawing so much. I think I just got to do it, right? So this is Complete Works or something like that. Complete collection. And before we let me show you what it is before we go there. Stop that, stop this, go there. All right, so these are this, but I want the what was mine? I should have put mine down. So there is one here, which is like the absolute, right? Which is this one. And this one here, this is the one. Right? So sometimes this one's a pre-love, so it's about $60, right? But then you got to pay $70 to get it here, so it's about $120, right? So I am going to get this now because I'm like desperately want it. This is the one I want, and it's a ship. It's like 800 pages or something, bro. Where is it? Should have more information here. Where is it? Hold on, let me see if I can find another one with more detail. Fully compiled. So it's about 800, 900 pages. I can do the information. I think it goes the same thing over again. Damn it. Oh, actually, I think it goes lower, right? Somewhere here. Wait. Yeah, it's like, yeah. huge book, man. And it's like the one I got to get. Like, this will be my birthday present for this year because I'm turning 53 in May. So I'm like, yep. And like, oh, by the way, my last year's Christmas present is arriving soon. Which,
Oh, really?
yeah, you know what it is?
No.
Megadeth.
Oh, the last Megadeth album?
Yes. My first
Oh,
Megadeth
man.
album, yeah, my first Megadeth album was 87, 86.
How many years has Megadeth been thrashing around?
I think it's been 40 years. Yeah,
it's been 40 years. Huh?
Yeah. So my Christmas present's
Yeah,
arriving.
I think it's about time they bow out gracefully. Sorry.
On the top, right? And not like, not like having to be wheeled out. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us. We will this will be our last video, and then we'll bow out. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys. Usually I don't say it enough times, but I always leave it to the end. Please like, share, subscribe.
You're roboting.
Am I? Am I roboting? Am I okay now?
Oh, a little bit you were. Yeah, you're fine now.
Maybe I was moving around too much. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to be doing this like basically Sunday, Friday, US time, right? And New Zealand time, it's Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
Every week. So, we get as much out there as we can. And we'll be dual casting because I'll have it both on the Monkey Show channel. I mean, the Solandia channel, and also on here. So that way I don't have to try to do one there and do one here. So thank you so much. Tim has got a link in the chat if you want to check out his work and so forth. It's right here at the top or in the middle.
Everything's right there for everything I've done these past 5 years.
Yeah. So it's Velvet Comics 6679. Do you want to say anything else before we finish here?
Not at the moment. Everyone have a wonderful weekend.
All right, folks. Catch you soon. Be well, and stay safe. Kaki te anō. Catch you on the flip side.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.